Hey everyone, Mike Skinner here. Right off the bat, I hate tall video, but I'm doing it this way because I don't have a tripod for this phone, but I have this little stand, and it works pretty well in this format versus landscape. So I'm going to do the tall video. Sorry if you hate it as much as I do, but I'm here to do a video on the new Droog X Burromax, which I just got. This is for my daughter, and this is the box. So it comes in the Burromax box. This box seems really beat up, but you need to consider that it first went from St. Louis, Missouri out to Washington State, so Droog could do their customization on it, and then it came here to Washington D.C. area where we are. So it's been all over the country here. So, all right, so I just opened it up a little bit and talk a little bit about it. A couple of holes here, see a little more, and then of course there. So this is the where the handlebar mounts. So that got a little scratched up, but hopefully not a big deal. Again, this box has been through it a little bit. The foam's a little busted up. A little bit of a hole in one of these bags, and there are loose bolts in there. So I'll be looking in the box to make sure there aren't any bolts sitting in the bottom of the box. So note to Droog, maybe double bag this, put it in a heavier bag. All right, here's an example of a couple of the 3D printed custom pieces. This is the front fender, and this is some sort of, I know this goes on the rear. I don't know if it's kind of like a mud guard to keep the rear shock from getting gunked up. Quality is really, really good. Droog did warn me not to crank down on the screws too much because you still could crack this, but it's very lightweight, but also very high quality 3D print. There is the custom headlight that I asked Droog to add. Felt like the LED slash panel that's kind of their signature wasn't going to be bright enough for actual night riding, so they added this 52 volt light. It's got a lead, plugs right into the harness. All right, a couple of user manuals here. One for the D&M shock upgrade. The other is just the stock Burromax TT1600R manual, and we'll use that a little bit in the assembly. Nothing specifically from Droog here. This is super cool. Little birthday message for my daughter from Max and Erica at Droog. And they threw a shirt in. So that's awesome too. This is the original, I think it's a 72 tooth sprocket. I'd asked Droog to swap out for a rear sprocket with a fewer teeth to raise the top end. So I think it went to a 70 tooth sprocket. So that should get about 5% higher top end speed. You lose a little bit of torque, but this is a pretty torquey bike. I think it's like 80 nanometer or something, so you're not losing a ton of torque to get a little bit more top end speed. Hoping to hit about 40 with my 110 pound daughter. All right, get ready to pull the bike out. Just want to show you the handlebars are already attached. I'm hoping this is where the bar end mirrors mount. I did ask them to include those. Haven't seen them yet. They might be in a box down there. So I'm getting ready to pull this out, and I'll show you what it looks like. So here's the front wheel. Just wanted to show you sort of up close. There's the wheel cover. Also 3D printed, I think. Standard Burromax track tire, which is a really cool flat track style design. And nice little bonus. They showed this on the prototype bike. There was some question as to whether it was going to be included with all the bikes or not, but quad lock mount with the vibration mount on it. So that's a really nice, that's not inexpensive. So it's nice they threw it in the box. And my daughter does have an iPhone, so we'll be using that. So I had asked Droog to add some bar end mirrors, and looks like they did. That's awesome. Definitely fits the style. It's really cool. She's used to that on her Razor. So I wanted to make sure she had mirrors. All right, I really am trying to get this out of the box, but just a couple of first impressions. The seat, really nice. That's their signature stitch style, suede top. Probably like a vinyl side. A little loose here, not sure what's going on there. So I'll be checking that out. And not on the prototype bike that you've seen in the videos. They've added back this, I don't want to call it a rack, but it's kind of like a handle, and there's also a handle underneath here too. It's really useful for lifting the bike up. That is a new custom rear 52 volt light. It's supposed to be brighter than stock, so that's cool. The foot pegs, I think these are stock. They are really super beefy. So that's going to give a lot of confidence, I think. Got to be careful if you eat shit, mess you up. But that's a really nice big platform. I mean, this bike, 300-pound dudes can ride it. So it's just really an impressive motorcycle class. So that's really what is so great about Burromax. When you mess with Razors and stuff, they're all right, but they do in many ways just feel like toys. Burromax really feels like a real motorcycle. So again, this is a heavy beast, and I'm trying to do this myself. I kind of wish I hadn't, but I'm going to make it work. I decided to sacrifice the box, and I'm going to put the handlebars on and try to roll this thing out of here to get the front wheel on. Again, man, these are motorcycles. This is not something you can throw around like a Razor. This thing is heavy. So, and I knew that Mira had a TT750R, much smaller version of this, and it was a substantial bike for what its size. Little tip here, Droog said use some blue Loctite on some of the screws. I'm going to go ahead and use it on to attach the handlebars so they don't come. So the blue is removable, so you don't want to use the red because you'll never get it off. All right, use blue. I got the blue thread locker in there, and just wanted to show you how wide these bars are. And theoretically, I don't know if they did or not, but Max at Droog said he was going to cut off a little bit to mount these bar end mirrors. So if he cut some of this off, and this is how wide it is, it's a wide bar. Anyway, so I'm getting ready to roll this thing out of here. The rear shock is not attached, so that's a little floppy. That might be why the seat's a little loose. I'm not sure. When attach that up, maybe that'll fix that issue. And then the other thing to be careful of is the front brake is just kind of hanging at this point, so don't let it bang around when you get it out of the box. Yeah, that looks totally safe and legit, right? Yeah. So, gonna be taking these 3 screws out to mount the fender. Burromax says use, again, blue Loctite. Don't just snug them down. Don't crank on them, because you can crack that 3D printed plastic if you go too crazy on it. So just snug it down nice and easy. That should be enough with the thread locker. It shouldn't come. Okay, that was absolutely the most fiddly part of this process thus far. To be fair to Droog and Burromax, they don't usually have this light here. I asked for that because I didn't feel like this light would be bright enough for night riding. So I asked them to add this. This is where they decided to stick it, which is cool. This is sort of in line with what they do on their other bikes. But of course, it makes it really difficult to get to these screws. So I had to do these about a quarter turn each to snug them into place. And again, be very careful when you're snugging them down. Resist the urge to one more turn. When they're snug, just let them be. Use the Loctite and trust that. You don't want to crack this this 3D printed plastic. And then I'm going to put this in place and snug it down so we have a front headlight. Got the front wheel on. That was fun. Not having a true motorcycle stand here. I wanted to show you the lead for that headlight. Goes right there. So we're going to hook that up. And then I'm going to hook up the front brake here. And then I'll set the bike down and deal with the rear shock. All right, installed the rear shock there. Was a little unsure which bolt to use. Apparently you reuse a bolt in the shipping container of the original Burromax, but it was just kind of thrown in with the other bolts after Droog set it up. So it's a smooth bolt, and it has these kind of like cone-shaped heads. And so there's a bolt and then a screw on the other side. They both have the cone-shaped heads. So do that. Okay, we're close. Still have to put the pegs on, tighten up the handlebars. I got the shock mounted in that little 3D printed, I guess it's kind of like a mud splatter guard, so mud doesn't splatter up on the shock. It's a good shot of the custom chain, gold chain that Droog puts on. I like that Droog did this as a collaboration, so they give Burromax some due. A lot of times with Droog's other bikes, you don't really know what's underneath. The Mini Fighter is a Kawasaki Z125. I think their high-end bike is a Kawasaki K900 or whatever. They build an electric e-fighter on the Zero platform, Zero DS platform, I think. But this is a collab, so it's Droog branded and Burromax branded. And they put the TT1600R back here on the part that Droog prints out. So looks like this is also 3D printed, so that's kind of cool. And again, a custom rear light. I think this is standard, this handle that comes on the Burromax. Standard tires. Gotta tighten up some stuff here, but it's that front 3D printed LED slash headlight. I'll show that when I turn the bike on the first time. 3D printed part there, 3D printed part here. Guess I'll tighten that up. Did notice that the seat is kind of loose, and that is apparently by design. At least it seems to just be a sort of tab there. You can see that tab coming up and down there. The tab just holds the seat in place, and it's screwed on with 2 screws in the back. So I might add a little sort of pad under that tab so that there's less of this up and down motion. So don't know why they didn't do that a little bit better, but it's okay. All right, so let me tighten everything up. I'm not going to be doing a test ride. I'm too big to ride this bike. It'll hold a 300-pound man. I weigh a little bit north of 300 pounds, so I'm not going to try to ride it. My son, he might do a test ride for me before we surprise my daughter with it. So I might do some video of him riding it, and I'll definitely get some video of her riding it. All right. So I think I'm going to wrap this up because the rest of it is basically just throwing the pegs on and tightening everything up. So if I think that there's something worth seeing, I'll add it to the video. All right. Bye. Okay, I think I'm done. I won't be able to do a test ride today, unfortunately. We're not giving her the bike until Saturday. and I'm at work tomorrow. So basically, there will be a ride video going up. Probably try to get my son on it first. He's 17, a lot more experienced. My daughter is turning 8. She has a 1800 watt Razor RSF 650 now. So upgrading to this. I guess it's kind of an upgrade. I mean, this is 1600 watt, 52 volt versus 48 volt. So with the gearing and the 52 volt, the controller in this one, I think it'll be a little faster actually than the Razor that we have. But just wanted to show you the bike as it's completed. I went ahead and put the mirrors on. You can see, man, those bars are wide. Droog said they were going to cut them down some. I don't know if they did or not. Those are 30-inch wide bars stock. But she's used to mirrors. She'll just have to get used to this really wide thing. Be careful when she's going through narrow spaces. So again, the differences from the bikes that you might have seen in the videos that Droog's done are they put this rear piece back on, which is not there in the videos that they did. We added the mirrors, or Droog did for us, but that was a request. And then this rear sprocket is 2 teeth less than the stock sprocket. Again, intended to raise the top speed a little bit. Yeah, that's it. I'll turn it on real quick. I haven't seen the LED panel from the front when you turn it on, so I'll try to capture that. Whoops, there we go. So it does a little zip, zip, zip. And also there is a light switch up here. So turn that on. And that should enable, the light down there. So you have to see how that looks at night. So you turn that on. So the LED panel's always on whenever the bike's on. But this light is only on when you turn the light on. And same with the side lights here. So this is an accessory mode. So right now, the throttle doesn't work. So because this has a USB charger, they wanted to make it so that you could basically turn the bike on without turning the throttle on. Oh, by the way, I did install the full throttle, and I had to modify it a little bit. Hard to see, but when I first put it on and had the bar end mirror, it would turn on, but then it would stay on because of friction here. So I had to cut out the rubber on the side so that it will turn and return spring-loaded with the bar end mirror in place. So for a little while, I thought I'd have to go back to the half throttle, but I figured that out. All right, so riding video coming soon.